I love this. I love this so much.
Slippery
This is this
slope.
is this is the game of the weekend. Two teams that have had controversy, and one is adapting. Sorry, one team is adapting and can do no wrong, and the other team backed their manager for 3 years. So let's go storylines. Then we'll preview this one, and then we'll do a combined 11 just so that we can have another clip. But storylines make stories great, and this one has all of them. Obviously, Liverpool coming off of 3 straight losses. United just got a win at home. United haven't beat Liverpool at Anfield in forever. So this just means that United are going to come away with this as like a 3-0 win. I think that's what I'm getting at. I think we talked about it a little bit before, but just the run of form for both teams has been shaky. United obviously need this win to get Amorim some credit in the bank, I think, with the fan base. And if you can come away with a win, you can maybe start to build something. So that's what United's kind of outlook on this one. And then for Liverpool, you can't have 4 straight and pretend to be title challengers. 4 straight off the bounce against your biggest rival, that ain't looking good, son. So those are the storylines. Where do you guys want to take this one?
Liverpool suck.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Naturally. Yeah, no, I think this is huge for them, and I think having this pretty much marinate over the international break. Obviously, they've got a lot of guys playing for their countries, but as soon as they're back, that's like the taste is going to be back in their mouths, right? Of just those losses and how they've happened. It's tough to say make or break because it's not. But if they drop points at home to Man United, I think it'll feel like that to them, and that can really be derailing. I think this is the game where they step up and remind them, hey, like, we've got a season we got to snap back into. We need to remember what we're trying to do here, what we're here to accomplish. It'd be pretty funny if that didn't happen. But I do see them putting it together at least for this game. I think we've always talked about it, especially last year when United got into these big games. You throw form out the window for a rivalry game like this. It really just comes down to who wants it more, and to an extent. Obviously, there's tactics involved, there's all that shit. But rivalry games can get emotional, they can get chippy, so I think it'll come down to that type of stuff. But yeah, I think Liverpool probably take care of this, but I think it's not as interesting as the overarching discussion on kind of where we've gotten so quickly in the season, from winning the transfer window to title favorites in a lot of people's eyes, myself included. And you guys brought up great points when I said that it's not just going to gel right away. It's going to take time. It's not the right pieces, all that stuff. I still think there's time for those guys to come good. I don't think everyone they've signed is immediately shit and will never come back to it. But I think there's a lot more validity in your guys' points now that we're seeing it in practice. I was always confused by the fullback signings they made. Just to have two such forward-thinking guys, it didn't make sense to me from a balance standpoint. And we've seen Kirk as out of possession as that left center back at times. It's like that does not suit him whatsoever. That he's not going to do well in that position. That's not him. So kind of seeing the square pegs go into round holes, I'm starting to see it. Maybe it was the Klopp muscle memory because, again, Slot came in and almost controlled everything, and all of a sudden it's gone. Was he involved? Did he want all these signings? I don't even know anymore. But I think overarching point, like I said at the beginning, the goalposts got moved very early, earlier than I thought they would. From title favorites, they're going to do it all to, I'll give it time. Caicedo didn't get any time, right? None of these guys got time. No one gets time.
Nobody gets
time. So it's a stupid argument, but I think, again, you guys love to hear this. You guys might be right, too, with the media darlings. It's crazy because I've seen my club do very similar sorts of business from a different position. We weren't defending champions, but I've seen very similar deals get swung in a completely different light. Wirtz needs time. I rate him really highly. I've watched him with Germany enough times. That's a very good player. Yes, there's time to adjust. He shouldn't look as bad as he does. He should. So I don't get the switching of the goalposts. I think it's totally valid to say, oh, they've looked significantly worse than projected. but it can still improve, and maybe they do get back to the title by the end of the year. I think that's totally valid, but to just completely go to defending and say, oh, no, it's fine. I don't get it. Like the Isak thing. Yeah, he doesn't look good because he hasn't trained for 2 months. All right? Like, it's a very simple answer, but just no one wants to answer it. It's kind of shocking to me, but
Is it?
Again, they just
I don't
act like
I
one
don't
thing
know
happens,
about
the other
that.
doesn't.
The Isak point's interesting. I think if you're in the conversation for best 9 in the world, you should produce like one of the best 9s in the world. Like Mbappe got crapped on and he had like what, 15 goals in like the first like 4 months of the season, and it was
Holland
like
had a bad
I think that's
season, and he was getting
standard for
compared to
Mbappe is different
Isak.
than the standard.
but it shouldn't be.
Isak,
That's
The
my
guy
point.
just
He
went
got
for
spent
150
140
million.
million. That we
There's
can't have that
there's
conversation
no.
anymore that the standard's different because it shouldn't be.
I personally think, and again, I've never played at a level to say this from personal experience, but from what I'm hearing, like when you go train by yourself, you're not training with anybody else. You can't simulate game actions and that type of physicality. So I'll give grace for that period, but again, I don't think that it explains.
But
Him
he's
less
supposed to
so.
have
I'm
the
more
best
kind of concerned.
midfielders in the world behind him, and it's the thing. That's
Yeah,
where all
that's
the
a more
narrative
valid
comes into
argument.
play. So it's
Because
like,
I'm
what
seeing
the
them,
fuck?
they're
What
blaming
is it?
McAllister
Yeah.
for the issues. They're just trying to find someone to blame and scapegoat.
Yeah.
I don't think it's one of those. I think it's not a mess, but it's a lot of new pieces that are not in the right spots. That doesn't just fix itself, especially when certain guys come in with certain expectations. Like, I'm sure both Frimpong and Connor Bradley probably thought they'd get a really good shot at that starting right back spot. One of those guys' expectations is now different. A lot of guys came in expecting one thing, and now all of a sudden it's completely different. I think that can affect you, right? There's just so many different moving parts there. And would you guys say this is the first time Slot's really faced adversity since getting the job?
Yeah, it's not really facing it right
That's
now.
a lot for him too. This is
It's
a whole new scope compared to Feyenoord, right? Like, it's a lot of people experiencing something new like that with a huge magnifying glass on it. So, as someone who doesn't hate them nearly as much as you two, I'll kind of let it play out for a little bit and see what's what. But you guys aren't far from it. I mean, I don't think, obviously you're stretching a little bit for the fun of it, but there are
What
some.
are we stretching?
I don't.
Not stretching it, just how much you guys hate them. But
No,
alarm bells are definitely ringing.
I know they are. I look at how we talked about it on the last pod, just real quick, because I don't want to forget it. But look at the way they ended that game against you guys. Look at the lineup. Look at who they put in those positions.
Same with us.
If that's the case, they have a lot more signings to do and a lot more money to spend, and the magnifying glass is only going to get more zoomed in. They're going to put a lamp behind it, and it's going to start to burn a little bit. So it's like, fuck them. They dug themselves this hole. Like, at the end of the day, I have no remorse for this fan base or this team because they do this to themselves.
We're on the same page there. We're on the same page there.
But yeah, I don't think we're stretching it at all, though. I think this is just how we see it, and
you're earlier.
It's playing it out the way we.
You were earlier than me, that's for sure. And to be fair, I do think I'm reactionary. But if you gun to my head, who's winning the league? It's not Liverpool. I think the public guys probably seen that. But again, in 2 weeks that can change, at least in my eyes, in terms of who's the favorite. I don't think there's one overheaping favorite, and I think I said that when I said Liverpool were the favorites. But if I had to say, probably not anymore. They're not filling me with confidence.
No, things change so quickly though. If you at that big end of the transfer window, you probably would have said that they walked away with the 2 best signings of the window. And now, based off their poor performances and not living up to that money expectation, they're not. I'd probably say that Donnarumma has been one of the best signings of the window, especially in the Premier League. Just what he's done since coming into the team.
I think Ekitike would have been high on that list if Isak never
if he played. That's the thing. They kind of shot themselves in the foot with that.
Yeah.
So,
and we always talk about pathways. I sent you guys an article about our fucking loanees and everything, but that pathway is going to be tough to get through when Isak's 25, 26. Isak's not an older guy.
When he's playing this shit. Not when
he's meant to be there for a long time.
Yeah,
so again, I'm all for it. There's competition. There's time for everybody to play. I'm a big proponent of that point, especially with the Chelsea squad, right? Number 9, I feel like, is a little different, especially when you break a transfer record to bring one in. That says a lot, where it's like, oh, this is the guy. He's the talisman. After Ekitike had a brilliant start for them.
I think that's
And again,
what's
small
causing
sample
the issue,
size.
though. Also, is a major part of
One
this
of
is that
many, maybe.
are the guys that were brought in for such high price tags are getting outperformed by guys that don't even come close to that. Yes, Ekitike was 80, 90 million, but it's little over half of what they paid for Isak. Crazy. When we were
Robertson
scoffing at
starting
what they
again.
paid for Ekitike, they didn't start Wirtz.
They went back to what they knew. And again, even then, I mean,
that's my point.
Chiesa's been pretty decent this year. He's yet to get a sniff of a starting lineup. I mean, maybe in a cup game or two, but no serious games. Right, he can't because Salah is Salah. He's going to be there, but again, he's had a tough year. He hasn't contributed to 70% of their goals.
I think that's a lot of what
expectation.
I didn't like about last season too, and the slot praise is that Mo Salah just produced one of
Should have
the
been
best
Salah
Premier
praise.
League seasons
Ever.
And I'm not a huge fan, but even I can come and say and respect that season that he just produced and say
28 and 18 is 28 and 18 from out wide. That's absurd.
Yes, the coach just did come in, and we weren't expecting that level of success, but he did have a generational player for that season. So for this like expectation to be so high for him going into the next season, I don't really agree with that, and I think we're kind of seeing that now.
Yeah, you guys are looking smarter and smarter day by day on this topic. I'll definitely give you that credit. I mean, you called it way earlier than me. But again, it is still so early in the season. With the level of talent that they signed, you would think that they can get figured out to some extent. But it's been dicey. But again, if we're talking about this game in particular, I mean, I know you're pretty confident. Not, I wouldn't say you're confident, Dylan, but you're feeling better about United. No, it's not
no. I have no. Right? There is no reason why any United fan shouldn't feel at least some form of like, okay, we can go get something here. That's how it should feel.
You just got a win. You just got points though. So by the law,
but by the law of the inverse
United,
of United,
you should be dropping points.
Objectively,
that's the only thing that scares me.
Objectively, here, United and Liverpool both, I think, if we're going to go into the preview for this, play to each other's strengths and weaknesses. Like, United are going to play off the back foot. That will happen. That's a strength of United's. United will then play in behind through Mbomo and either Cunha or Mount, which Liverpool have no defenders. And I don't know if Konate is healthy. They might have one center back, which...
Even if he is, dude.
Even if he is, he hasn't been great. And look, Sesko's found some form here. So if you were looking at the striker matchup, Sesko he's the best 9 currently because Ekitike can't get a sniff. That's the weirdest thing to me. He can't get a sniff for Liverpool after the way he started because he took off his jersey after getting a winner. He's fucking a kid. Yeah, of course he did. And then for France, Mateta started over him today. And look, I like Mateta more than the next guy, but like, what? The kid
not more than me, Dylan.
He's just getting shafted. I don't even know what's going on. There's a chance he starts in this one, but it's politics at the end of the day. Isak was 140 million. So he's gonna start over your 80 million pounds.
We'll get more of a chance.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that this game plays to both teams' strengths. Like Salah going at Luke Shaw for 90 minutes. Yeah, that's a strength. That's a +1 in Liverpool's cap. I think that they don't play with the midfield. So both teams don't play with midfields, and that means that both teams are going to just kind of basketball match it a little bit. Wingbacks are going to be wingbacks. I think the overload of Ahmed and Mbumo against Kirkez or Robertson feels pretty safe to me. You know what I'm saying? Like both teams are not going to do anything.
The out ball, I feel like United always have had that out ball when they're defending deep. There's that one switch across and Mbumo's in space. Yeah. It's about how you execute in those. But again, from a United perspective, these guys have been in these situations in game more and more. They're going to understand each other more and more. You're more confident that someone will do the right thing and end up putting a chance away.
Hopefully.
The chances will definitely be there, to your point, and especially if the game stays close in the second half, it can turn into basketball. I mean, even if it doesn't stay close, I think Bournemouth are probably a better side than you guys currently, but that opening game, they were down 2-0 and boom, they're back, right? Like it didn't take much. It took a moment of brilliance, but I think you have enough quality. I think Mbumo can pull something out of his ass. I think Cunha can. I think you have enough talent there to when those opportunities present themselves, you can take advantage. But I still think you're going to lose just because.
No, fair enough. But I think that there's a different pressure point for both clubs. Look, I think that the timing of Ratcliffe's interview is very convenient. You think going into a match at Anfield when there was some pressure on him and he comes out and he says something like he did, the way he does it, in comparison to a team that spent $400 million and now has the pressure of, will it be 4 in a row to your biggest rival? That's not a coincidence to me. It's just not. I just think that it's maybe good business tactics. Maybe I'm giving him more credit than deserved for that, but I think that that's really the reasoning. I think that's why he did it, is so that if United do not get a result in this one, we're not asking the question. You don't need to ask it because he already answered it. So now the pressure has flipped completely onto Liverpool to get 3 points, because anything else, United win. I think in all forms of the result, United win. You've got momentum, Amorim gets some breathing room, and it also is against your biggest rivals. So you just got, I think that United's got house money, and you just got to play it that way. And I just don't fear this Liverpool team in the ways that I probably have in the past. It just does. I just think they're open. They make everyone look good. I don't know why that would be different against United. I don't. And United haven't looked all that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think to your point that you just made with the whole Ratcliffe statement, I feel like for me, I'm done looking at Amorim's job. I'm looking at him now. Oh, this is your guy. Okay, I don't care what he does now. You are confident in him. You're the decision maker. That's who the heat should be on. The person keeping him, not the guy doing his job or attempting to do his job. The blame's done there. Like, we've talked about this more than enough times, how deep-rooted the issues are. I'm done looking at his job and saying he needs to go. Because the owner has just came out during an international break when the headlines are quiet and said 3 years. To your point, it was tactic or not, they did it for a reason. So the heat's off of Amorim. Obviously, the heat's not off. He's got pressure to perform in every game. But at least for me, I'm done thinking about, they got to get rid of him. They got to no, because the very owner came out and said, no. Okay, it's on you now. You're taking accountability for this? Got it. That's how I saw that. But
no, agreed.
Yeah, Liverpool
it's a stance.
Liverpool give teams a platform to score. So
nobody is out of a match against them. Yeah. Nobody. Yeah. They've made every team look competent. That means United, a team that isn't very competent, will probably look competent, at least for portions.
I really want you guys to beat them. I really would love it.
So what's your prediction?
And then 2-1.
Oh, nice. What were you gonna say though?
I mean, just looking at their fixtures, they have a little bit of a breathe. 2-3 weeks, 2-3 games of breathing room after this one. Less pressure, but again, one of them's Crystal Palace, I think, in the EFL. Not easy for them. That's a bogey team. The other one's a Champions League game. So you got to be on point for that. Then after that, they go to Real Madrid. Or did Real Madrid go to them? Whatever. Yeah. Real Madrid go to them. They have Real Madrid. And then they have City following it up. So I think if they drop points, it can get a little spooky for them. Just in time for Halloween.
Potentially slippery, Mila?
Oh, it's already slippery.
Super slippery.
We're just turning up the incline at this point.
I'm just seeing here that Gravenberch has hamstring discomfort. Minor hamstring discomfort. That's a big dude. My thoughts on the match
will
completely change. It'll completely change if that's the case. Because I don't know what they do. If he's not playing, like, he's also their backup center back.
Joe Gomez is not rated. Yep. I don't know. I feel like Gomez has played more fullback for slot than center back.
Yeah, he has.
Dominic.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna predict 3-2 Liverpool. It'll be a basketball game, I think. really just comes down to the individuals who end up getting the chances. It's kind of what I said earlier. I think United will have the opportunity to get those chances. They will get opportunities to break and have numerical advantages, but I don't know. I still think the Liverpool wakes up for this one, at least enough. But I mean, again, having a close game like this will not ease any sort of pressure. They'll get their result. They'll be able to move on to the next week, but it's not going to stop if it's not convincing. And I don't think it will be some sort of just convincing, just whopping.
Yeah, I don't even know. I just don't know what to think. I feel like every time that they've played competent opposition, they make them look all right, and they make not competent
Are you
opposition
competent
look good.
opposition is the question.
I'm gonna go 3-2 as well, but for United, and I think it comes down to United being clinical and Lehmann's having to make a save. There will be a point in the match where he has to make a save.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, so he's in the squad now and even more confident.
Well, he's only played one game, but he's not as incompetent as the last two.
It was
Because
so much better than the shit
It's
that they had to
crazy.
put up
the
with
Bayern
before.
thing was the craziest one to me because Onana had, I think, one good run of form at the beginning of last year, but for Bayern to play as little as he did and immediately show that he was worse,
It's crazy.
I thought was crazy.
It's crazy.
Because I've seen some bad goalkeeping very recently at my club, right, the past few years. So to immediately be able to identify that Bayern was somehow worse was crazy. So I think the Lehmann's thing, we can't get too ahead of ourselves. But again, to Mila's point, just the fact that you can see the basics being done, fantastic start. The fans will already be behind him. He'll be filled with confidence. You can build on that. So
yeah,
that is a huge thing to have a goalie for corners. It's great.
Yeah, he's gonna have to make a save. That's what I think, and we'll end up winning 3-2, and it'll be the first time in forever,
Huge.
and we go on a run.